Algebra 1, Unit 1, Expressions, Equations, and Functions. Today we are going to learn the third lesson, Writing Algebraic Expressions. After completing this lesson, you will be able to translate verbal phrases into expressions. In other words, you will be able to translate between words and algebra. Let us see some vocabulary. A variable is a letter or symbol used to represent a value that can change. We have learned in the first lesson, variables are generally English alphabet. We also use Greek alphabet in math. A constant is a value that does not change. A constant is a number. A numerical expression contains only constants and operations. In the second lesson, Order of Operations, we simplified numerical expressions using order of operations. A numerical expression contains only a number or operation, a number and operation. For example, 17 plus 2, negative 11 plus 19, 20 times 5, 11 divided by 22. An algebraic expression contains variables, constants, and operations. If a numerical expression contains at least one variable, we call it algebraic expression. For example, 8 plus 5x, 2x minus 13, and so on. A verbal model. A verbal model describes a situation using words as labels and using math symbols to relate the words. Example, 8 more than the product of 5 times a number x is a verbal model. We can translate this verbal model into algebraic expression as 8 plus 5x. In real-life situations, we use verbal models. It is very important to understand how to translate verbal model into algebraic expression and vice versa. In open-ended questions, applications, word problems, we use verbal models. A rate is a fraction that compares two quantities measured in different units, and unit rate is a rate whose fraction has a denominator of 1. We learned rate and unit rate in the second part of this lesson. In order to translate verbal model into algebraic expression, vice versa, we need to learn these words and their meaning. Whenever we use plus, sum, total, more than, increased by, we use plus symbol for these words. Similarly, in subtraction, we use minus, difference, less than, decreased by. And for multiplication, times, product, multiplied by or of. For division, we use divided by or quotient. This chart is very helpful to translate verbal models into algebraic expressions. All these expressions means 2 times y. First, let us translate algebraic expression into verbal expressions. Let us see some examples. Write each algebraic expression in words. This we can write as 9 plus r, the sum of 9 and r, 9 increased by r. q minus 3. This algebraic expression can be translated as q minus 3, the difference of q and 3, or 3 less than q. This is 7m, the product of m and 7, m times 7. J divided by 6, or the quotient of j and 6. Let us see another example. 4 minus n, or 4 decreased by n, or n less than 4. 9 plus q, the sum of 9 and q, q added to 9. T divided by 5, or the quotient of t and 5. 3h, 3 times h, the product of 3 and h. Now let us translate verbal model into algebraic expressions. 8 more than the product of 5 times a number w. The product of 5 times a number w is 5w, and 8 more than that product would be 8 plus 5w. The quotient of 11 and the sum of 7 and a number x. The sum of 7 and a number x would be 7 plus x. The quotient of 11 and that sum, which is 11 over 7 plus x. The square of a number y decreased by 13. The square of a number y is y squared. Decreased by 13 is negative 13, which is y squared negative 13. Let us see some more examples. The difference of 3 times a number m and 5. 3 times a number m and 5. The difference of 3 times a number m is 3m, and difference is 3m minus 5. 26 divided by number n is pretty straightforward. It is 26 over n. 1 by 3 of a number p is 1/3 of p. The sum of 9 and square of a number k. Square of a number k is k squared, and sum of 9 and that number would be 9 plus k squared. Let us see some more exercises. Number of tokens needed for X video games if each game takes 4 tokens. Each person's share if n people share 8 slices of pizza equally. It's 8 by n. Amount you spent if you buy a shirt for $20 and jeans for $D. Shirt is $20 and jeans is $D. It would be 20 plus D. Number of months in Y years. Number of months in 1 year is 12 months. Number of months in 2 years is 12 times 2. Number of months in Y years would be 12 times Y. Number of days left in the week. If D days have passed so far, it would be 7 minus D days, because there are 7 days in a week and D days already passed. 3 less than the square of a number k. Square of a number k is k squared, and 3 less than is k squared minus 3. Now we will learn a rate and unit rate. A rate is a fraction that compares two quantities measured in different units. If we compare two quantities with the same units, we call it a ratio. But if there are different units and if we compare two different units, we call it a rate. And unit rate is a rate whose fraction has denominator 1. An airport checks 460 passengers in 5 hours. Find the unit rate. So there are 460 passengers in 5 hours, which is 460 passengers over 5 hours gives you 92 passengers per hour. The unit rate is 92 passengers per hour. We'll see some more examples. There are 150 bottles in 3 packages, which means you can fit 50 bottles per pack. There are 224 students in 8 classes. 224 over 8, which is 28 students per class. Let us see some more examples. 6 gallons of gasoline gives a mileage of 129 miles, which means if we cross out 129 over 6, we get 21.5 miles per gallon. 4 ticket costs $28, which means $7 per ticket. Let us see an application. At a lake, there are 2 boat rental shops. Shop A charges $210 for 4-hour rental, and Shop B charges $228 for a 6-hour rental. Which shop charges more per hour? How much more expensive is the shop? This is an example of unit rate. Shop A, $210 for 4 hours, which means 210 over 4 hours gives 52.5 per boat. And Shop B charges $228 for 6 hours, which means Shop B $228 over 6 hours, which gives $38 per boat. Clearly, Shop A charges more, and it would be 52.5 minus 38, which is $14.5. Shop A charges $14.5 more than Shop B. Let us see one last example. You are making candles for your friends. A mold for the candles costs $22.50 and wax to make one candle costs $5. Write an algebraic expression for the total cost of making X candles. You make 8 candles, find the total cost. We will write a verbal model. Total cost equals cost of mold plus cost of each candle times the number of candles. $22 cost of mold is $22.50 plus cost per candle is $5, and we don't know the number of candles. Let us say X, which gives an algebraic expression for total cost. Now it's given you make 8 candles. Substitute number of candles by 8, which gives $62.50. Congratulations! Now we have completed this lesson. You have learned how to translate verbal phrases into expressions and